Hello everyone, welcome to this Ablio webinar. During the course of the webinar, we're going to show you as an interpreter how you can manage the Ablioconference platform. Being able to manage the platform means that you will be able to provide a great service for your own customers who are requesting an interpreting service for their video conference meetings. Clearly, your customers will be organizing the video conference using the platform of their choice, and they will communicate to you the date and time and how you can connect to it. That's their role. It's up to you then to organize the remote simultaneous interpreting session through Ablioconference. You and your colleagues will be connected to the video conference whilst at the same time being connected to the Ablioconference platform as well. The conference attendees will follow the original conference on their computers and listen to your translation on their smartphones. You will need to have an owner account on the platform, and you can obtain this by signing up on our website www.ablioconference.com. Go to My Account page on the dashboard once you've signed in, and ensure that you apply for the reseller program in order to take advantage of the 40% reseller discount. Through this owner account, you will be able to create and manage events, which are the sessions that you will prepare for your customers. You'll find tutorials and system configuration information under the Resources tab, available at the top bar menu. As well as acting as the event manager for the event you're going to create, you will also be acting as an interpreter. So you will need to create a profile for yourself, an interpreter profile. And if you have other colleagues that are going to join you, you'll need to create profiles for them as well. In order to do this, go to the dashboard, click on Team, and then click on Create a New Interpreter. Fill in all the details that are there, the name, email, language combination. And then you will see that you need to create a username and password. These credentials, the username and password, you will need to use in order to join the session as an interpreter. And remember, once you've created the profiles, make sure that all the interpreters have these credentials so that they can join. Having sorted out the team, you can now create the event to be used for providing simultaneous translation services to your customer. You need to give a title to the event, which will be shown on all the dashboards, both the event manager, yourself, and the interpreters and the attendees on their applications on their smartphones. The date of the event will be the date you've been given for the video conference. And on this particular demonstration here and this webinar, we will be using the Zoom platform. Now that you created the event, you can proceed with its configuration. The first section relates to the team involved in the event. Here you can simply enter your name in all the fields. In this example, Abliotalia is my name as the owner. The second section is related to the venue. You can leave this blank because there is no venue, so it's not relevant. In the interpreter booths, add the virtual translation booth required for the session and make sure the language combinations are correct. In the interpreters section, assign the interpreters to the booths, selecting them from the list you created before in your team page. Continue your configuration by clicking on Cloud in the Media Server section and then select No in the Local Broadcasting section, because interpreters and participants are remotely connected, each one with their own connectivity. In the Audience App section, flag up Ablio Audience and enter the title of the event. Then assign a channel number to each language so that the event title and the relevant language channels will be shown on the Ablioconference app, which is going to be used by the attendees during the session. Once all this has been done, the configuration is complete. Make sure you click on freeze in every single section that we've just gone through together. And remember that the event must be subscribed before going live on the day of the event. You will notice at the top of the screen that the system has assigned an event code to this particular event with its title and its date. This is important. Before the web conference starts, attendees will need to download onto their smartphones the Ablioconference app. And at the time of the conference, they will launch this app and enter the event code in order to listen to the translation. So when you report back to your conference organizer, this information they need to communicate to all the attendees that need translation. Obviously, before the date of the event, you will want to actually test the systems and rehearse. You'll do this by clicking Go Live. And at that time, Ablioconference will operate in test mode. The sessions will last for 45 minutes, and there's an audio watermark superimposed in all the translation channels. At the date of the event, you'll do exactly the same. You'll go live, but this time the watermark will be removed for multiple sessions or for the entire day. Clicking Go Live will take you into the dashboard page that enables you to run the session. Click on Show Dashboard of the speaker source and then on Start Conference. You will have to wait a few minutes before Ablioconference session starts. When the speaker source dashboard is shown on the screen, the Ablioconference session has started. You could, in a normal conference setting and a different kind of event, select the audio-video source of the speakers that has to be injected into the computer and sent to the interpreters. But in the case of a video conference, this doesn't need to be selected because the interpreters will be following the speakers, having been connected by the conference organizer with the video conference itself. Once the Ablioconference session has started, the interpreters can sign in and link up and become connected, and also the translation channels will be made available to the listeners on the Ablioconference app. If the conference is started and there are no interpreters translating, the audience will be able to listen to some waiting music. Now you, as the session organizer, have started the event, made it go live, but you're also an interpreter, so you will need to set up another browser tab and then sign in as the interpreter with the credentials you assigned yourself when you configured the whole session. Now you might use Firefox as a browser for your owner dashboard and Chrome for your interpreter one. Or even better, if you have two computers, you might use one as the owner and the second one as the interpreter. And of course, the other interpreters that you assigned to the team should also sign into Ablioconference using the credentials you previously generated and select the proper event and go live. Now you and all the other interpreters can operate as interpreters during the whole session using your interpreter dashboards as explained in all the manuals. Of course, when the web conference or video conference starts, you and your fellow interpreters will need to be connected to it. That's the source that you need to translate. So we suggest that you reduce the web conference window over the Ablioconference dashboard so that you're able to follow both the conference and at the same time have access to the dashboard commands. You will be aware that during the web conference, your voice should not be listened to. There are different ways to do this, and you can see more information in the manuals, but here's the best way to handle it. Most probably, you're using a computer which has two microphones. One is the built-in microphone in the computer itself, and the other is the USB microphone within your interpreter's headphones. When joining into the web conference, select the built-in microphone as the microphone device and set it on mute, and your USB headsets as a listening device. When you connect into Ablioconference, select the USB microphone. In this way, you'll be able to listen to the web conference and your voice will go through only to the Ablioconference translation channels. The use of Ablioconference is pretty simple, but like any new tool, you need to devote some time and attention to it and practice. These are required for you to become familiar and proficient. It's therefore strongly suggested that you and your colleague interpreters do some proper training and several practice sessions. Now, these tests are completely free of charge. You'll only be charged when you go live. And there's plenty of information material on the resources tab that's available within the top menu bar of your online account. If you have any questions or doubts or concerns about what you're doing, you can always have access to Ablioconference Help Desk and the Support Center. There's a little green button at the bottom right-hand side of each Ablioconference page. So thank you for listening to this webinar and have fun.